just to start, we're going to start by looking at different grounding techniques that we use. So these could include enhancing all different aspects of our senses to really help bring us in the present moment. So one first technique I'm going to go over is something called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. Now what that is that first you'll start off by looking and naming 5 things that you see around the room. So you look around, what do I see? I see a light over here. I see this blue wallpaper. I see my pen over here. You're going to name 5 of those. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you're going to get the gist of it. From there, then you'll look at 4 things you can touch. So you're going to see, maybe I can touch this star. I could touch my desk, feel the material of it. I could touch my seat that I'm sitting on, and those things. Then you're going to take a look at 3 things you can hear. So you're going to listen, which then again helps bring you to the present moment. And I hear my coworkers talking. I hear some sound machines going and some other noises as well. Then we're going to look at 1 thing you can taste. So an example might be, I'm going to take a sip of water and just be present with that for a moment. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail of why we're going through some of these different sensory techniques and how you use them. So another example, so that first one, that 5-4-3-2-1, 5-4-3-2-1 technique, just to get it etched in your memory, is a grounding technique. Now, if you break those up a little bit more, one example could be just focusing on an object, right? So the object I might pick might be this beautiful SunCloud Health pen I have here. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to hold the object, observe it, feel the different texture or material, and I'm going to name it as I'm talking about it. So I see that it's made of rubber here. I have some metal here, and it's a little bit colder. And I'm going to see, I can't really wiggle it. So in doing that, why you're going to do that is it's going to allow you to anchor your attention into something else, right? And in that, it's going to help you interrupt any of those cycle thought, negative processes that are going on, right? So that's one example of just looking at different objects and describing them in more detail. Another thing you can do is something called color scanning. So color scanning is, I'm going to pick the color blue because I got a lot of blue in this office. So I'm going to look around the room and name everything that I can see that's blue. I've got blue paint. Again, I got my beautiful SunCloud Health pen. I got this blue star here next to me. And you would continue doing that still maybe for about 5 to 10 different objects until you're starting to feel your breathing start to regulate again. Part of that also allows you to focus on a remedial task that's easy to do and not requiring the same intellectualizing that's happening when, again, you're cycling through all those different negative thoughts. All right, now I'm going to go over one of our favorite techniques that we use in our residential program. So let's say you get stuck in some sort of trauma response, right? Your brain is going into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and a new recent one, flop. And you're feeling dysregulated, you're feeling dissociated, you're feeling a panic in your breathing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to look for something that has both texture and temperature connected to it. Now, our favorite object to use is a frozen orange. So I got one with me here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look. I can do basically all of those different senses in this one, right? Because I could smell the orange, I could feel the temperature in it, and I'm going to go over more of that in a minute. I can also feel the bumpiness in the orange and, where the stem was and those different pieces. So one of the most important reasons of why you're going to use something that's a different temperature. Now, again, you could use either ice cubes, you could splash water on your face, you could use a cold washcloth on your neck. And the reason why this is important is because it starts to activate the mammalian drive reflex. And what that does is it helps to activate your vagus nerve, right? And your vagus nerve, which is very much connected to trauma, helps to start to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, right? Which is trying to help your body go back to that resting mode. So that's one really, really important thing to try when you're noticing your body is starting to get into that fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or flop response. use something that has some sort of temperature with it. And always a frozen orange, I recommend. Now, one more thing we're going to go over is something called bilateral stimulation. Now, what bilateral stimulation is you're going to start by going left and right and tapping on your shoulders. This is a common technique used in EMDR. And what it helps to do is helps to get your left and right hemispheres communicating so that one side's talking to the other and allows you to become present. So if you're feeling that fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or flop response again, start doing this for about 60 seconds. And you're going to feel your breathing start to regulate, and you're going to feel yourself become more present again. So those are the techniques we went over. I hope you use them, and I hope you really find that they're relaxing and calming in different moments where you're feeling distressed. Thank you so much.